All right, let me close by talking about the so-called deal that is in the offing. The outgoing speaker can sit down with the president and the majority leader of the Senate and do a 20-month deal that raises the debt limit, gets money to defense, gives some domestic magic dust to the president to throw around, but gets us through the end of this without crippling defense anymore. Are you in favor of that, Chris Christie, postponing the show until a new president gets there and new decisions, hard decisions, can be taken?
Well, I think we need to do what needs to be done for America's safety and security first, Hugh. And so the way I would do this is just to work on the defense portion of things. The fact is, and we've discussed this before on your program, the Pentagon is being absolutely diminished, and our defenses are being diminished by what the president and the Congress has done to cut back on Pentagon spending. And we're seeing the cost of that around the world. We're not being able to participate in the ways and lead in the ways we need to around the world. This president's foreign policy is allowing Russia into Syria and the Middle East, for goodness sakes. Every time you think it can't get worse, it does. And so I think the first priority is to rebuild our national defenses. That's what I would be in favor of doing. I'm not in favor of spending money on other things. I'm in favor of spending money on our national defense.
But if they brought out a deal and the president's got a veto and he's got a filibuster-proof majority or 40 plus in the Senate, so he gets something. I mean, I'm just a realist here, and I don't want him to do any more damage to national defense. If Boehner came out on his shield and said, I got $3 for every dollar in defense, I got $3 in defense spending for every dollar in domestic spending, and we've raised the debt limit, and this guy is done, we've got a 20-month deal, would Chris Christie blast away at him, or would he say, okay, that clears the table for me to do the hard lifting when I get to 1,600?
I'd take a hard look at the specifics on the deal, Hugh, and then give people my honest opinion like I always do. I haven't been reluctant to make compromise. I've been the guy on the trail that says compromise is not capitulation. But we got to make sure we don't compromise our core principles on this, and making sure that we get sufficient increases in defense spending is what I'd really be looking at.
Last